So tonight's call is really a brainstorming session, and it's the first call I've been excited about for a very, very long time. It's the first one I didn't try to make up a gazillion excuses not to be a part of. So I'm excited to not only be talking to all you guys again, I'm excited of how many people seem to be excited to want to do this together again, because look at how many people are on. It's like a huge number for a long time. All right, you go. So, like I said in my post, if you saw it, my biggest takeaway from Summit was together, like doing things together. I just heard that over and over again, that these teams that were succeeding were doing it together. And it's not even necessarily shut up, Trudy. It's not even financial success or anything like that. It was the success of just seeing the teams doing these things together and being a team that was proud. Their members were proud to be on that team, and they were proud to be there together. And they were proud to be working together, and they're being proud to there to represent the team. So I really want to jump back into this. And I know I've been out, and I know a lot of you guys have been out too. And I feel like we've all been out because we've been trying to do this separately. We've been trying to do it separately, and it's not working. For a long time, we worked together, and we worked together really well. And then when we were doing this, it was like, oh, you become Diamond, you make a team name, you make a team group, you run everything on your own. Like, that was kind of how we did it. And I feel like we've kind of fallen apart since then. And I don't feel like it's fun anymore, or working. So Christina Delgado in the Leadership Conference talked about rebuilding, especially after 2017. But I loved how she said that she doesn't call it rebuilding, because rebuilding is building something again after it's been destroyed, and it's honoring what was, when instead we should be renovating and honoring what worked and those who stayed. So I really want to concentrate over the next few months on renovating our team. And we have to obviously figure out how to do that. I also like how she spoke about how your business is your home. You're not going to renovate your home all at once unless you want to go crazy. You're going to renovate one room at a time. So we have to figure out what needs to be done first and work from there. So what can we tackle immediately? And like I said, for me, what I really want to tackle immediately is coming together as a team, and finding the culture that we lost, because I think our team has one hell of a culture. I think when we were really shining and we were bringing in coach after coach after coach that stayed long term, it was because we were leading with our team culture. We weren't leading with the workouts or the business. We were really leading with our team culture, and people are drawn into that. And I was talking to Trudy about it when we were driving to the airport. The people I feel like that are really there and really on my team, it's the people that I knew in real life, and that I was able to really sit down and talk to them about everything amazing about this team and about our relationships and about how we support each other, and all the things like that. So I really feel like that if we can find that culture again, if we can find our spirit, and come together again, that we can renovate this team in amazing ways. And I think that's how we're going to find the people that really want to be in it. Because when they come in and they get all of this, they don't want to give it up. But right now we don't have all of this. We have this and this and this and this and this. And it's kind of it's so separate, and it stinks, I think. So what I really want to tackle immediately and commit to immediately is making these plans to work together, and then committing to showing up. So I have a few ideas, but I want this to really be, a brainstorming session. That's another thing. I really want to make sure we're having regular calls. But I'd love to see several brainstorming sessions a month, and then a training, maybe a monthly training and 3 brainstorming sessions, because I love the brainstorming sessions. I feel like that's when we really get to know each other. That's when we can really like thrive off of each other, and help each other work through things. There's a gazillion trainings out there. We know where they are. We can watch them on our own. And I still want to, like I said, continue to do one a month where we're all doing something and we can teach the team something we know, something we feel secure in, something we feel we found that works. But I love the idea of doing weekly brainstorming sessions where we have a topic or several topics and we stick to those topics. And we really figure out ways to do those things better. And so a couple of the other ideas is I'd love to get a calendar together, a team calendar together of groups that we're going to run together, groups that we're going to show up to, and we're going to work together, so that this way we're not each trying to run 17 different groups. I know we all have our different ways of doing challenge groups, so I don't necessarily think that we always need to come together on the challenge groups unless you guys really wanted to or needed to. I love running challenge groups with other coaches, but I know some people really thrive on running those the way that they run them. But some of the other things I was hoping we could set on the calendar and work with are obviously a new coach group, a monthly new coach group, a monthly coach sneak peek, things that, we have been doing, but that we should be doing on a regular basis, starting at the same time. And if we're working them together and doing them together, it'll take a lot of the stress off of us feeling like we have to do them every single month, because we'll know we'll have the support of our team to do them together. But something else that I learned about from Trina Gray was she feels that when her team needs some momentum or needs a pick-me-up or just needs to push in the right direction, she does something called the 6-day coach accountability group. And I'd love to do something like that. I don't know if we would do it monthly or just when we feel like we need it, maybe quarterly. But I think it could be a lot of fun. It would just be us in it, just trying to improve our momentum. It would be 6 days. We would come up with a list of 6 daily tasks that we would have to do as coaches to help move our business forward. And basically, we just go through that day and we do our 6 tasks and we snap a picture and we share that we've done it. And then we're in there kind of to support each other, figure out what's working, what's not working. And everyone that's participating in the group, what baby? Everyone that's participating in the group, we can have little prizes. We can just something almost like Team Cup, but just a small accountability group that runs for 6 weeks where we push ourselves, 6 days, where we push ourselves for the 6 days just to get our momentum going. So that's something I thought could be fun to do as a team every so often. Maybe we do it quarterly or every other month, just something to push ourselves. Another idea that they talked about doing was, I think we all heard this in the sessions, was doing a to-be mindset sneak peek, which I thought was like a great idea, kind of like a coach sneak peek, doing the to-be mindset sneak peek where like it's 5 days and the first day you meet Alana and you see a video about her. And the second day it explains the meal planning a little bit more or the science behind it. I mean, we'd have to sit down and figure out our 5 days, but I thought it'd be really cool to have people who are interested in the to-be mindset to maybe do a sneak peek of the to-be mindset. That's another idea we could throw on the table. And another one I heard, I think from Trina Gray, was her coaches will do something, especially around the holidays, do something called a flash sale group. And it's an invite only group. So you have to be, you are invited by the customer is invited by the coach. And obviously we're not going to do it like legging style, like you ask the person if they want, you invite them. If they accept them, you can put them in the group. And basically what they do is every day for like a week, you can see my gears running. I'm like, I feel like Alicia's nodding at me or she's nodding at somebody in the chat. Don't make me laugh.
It's because you're so funny.
I know I am, but Alicia hasn't drank, so apparently I'm very dry tonight. So the flash sale seemed like kind of a cool idea in the fact that the people that are in there want to be in there. And every day they would showcase a new product, maybe a little video from one of the coaches, like a video testimonial. And so they would showcase this product, and when the post went up, anyone that wanted to buy it did the same thing in those other groups. They would write sold, sold, sold. And so if the person wanted to purchase that challenge group, if you're their coach, you connect with them, you send them the link, and everyone that makes the purchase under each post would be put into a raffle for like an Amazon gift card. And everyone that makes a purchase over the course of the week would be put in a raffle for another prize. So they said that brought their sales up insanely. Like they had one of the best sales weeks they've ever had as a team. And it was just a quick thing they did before the holidays, but I thought that could be something that's kind of cool. It almost puts like the FOMO, and because everyone's like, if you have the testimonial and people are talking about it, you see other people buying it, people, maybe they will write sold and not necessarily purchase it, but at least it gets you talking to them about the product a little bit more. So I thought that was kind of a neat idea. But I'd love to hear if you guys have any ideas for groups we could do as a team. Maybe it's something you've been wanting to do, but you haven't because it's just been too much on your plate. But if we all work together, we can make it happen, or something you've tried and it's not working, but maybe if we're all working together, we can do it. Yeah, babe. The other thing is, I don't know if everyone in here or on this call is in it, but we've had a Team 2B support group going, kind of like the 21-day fix support group where it's ongoing. So if you have 2B customers, or you are doing 2B and you need a support group, we do have one that's ongoing. And the first 30 days, we all took a week to do the post, but since then it's kind of become similar to the fix, where it's really become fairly self-run. And people are posting and commenting and sharing recipes and sharing their water intake, and it's a pretty cool group. I haven't been as active in it as I'd like to be because I haven't been as 2B-ish as I should be, but I restarted my 2B today. I'm drinking all my water, and I got my food post in the group. So that's another thing. If you guys need a 2B group and you're not in it, it's free your mind, like the song. Anyone want to sing it, Maureen? Free your mind, 2B. So ask for the request, and you can welcome anybody you have into it. So, okay, the floor is open. Let's chat. I'd love to hear feedback on what I said, what you guys think, how we can renovate this team. If you have any ideas.
I would like to speak.
Okay.
I'm raising my hand and have the pen, so that
Yes,
should make it
Ms. Lamarca.
Okay. So Kim Carver did a training, and it was bad timing because it was like last day we're there, last training of the day. But one thing that I thought was really awesome that he talked about was going back to our fundamentals and our basics. So basically going back to like the original stuff where you're just sharing your journey, where you're doing the 3 vital behaviors, where you're trying to make those real connections with people, or 4 vital behaviors. And what he did say is it's great to go outside of the box, but sometimes when we're trying so hard to go outside of the box, we're complicating things more than we need to, when there's already like all this stuff at our fingertips that we don't have to reinvent the wheel. And yeah, it's awesome to go outside the box, but sometimes when we go outside the box and we stray away from like the norm, going outside the box gets us away from doing those fundamentals. And 2 questions that he asked that I thought were really great was, am I being the best challenger that I can be? I know sometimes we either think of ourselves as just a coach, or maybe we need to take a pause and we need to be the challenger to sort of get ourselves back into it. But also, if we're wanting people to join us, be it as a customer of ours or even as a coach, are we showing them the way that it's supposed to go? Are we being the best challenger to show them how to be challengers, or at least role modeling that type of behavior? And the other question was, am I being the best coach? And it just was sort of like a gut check for me too. The other thing that I thought was really awesome that came out of Summit is that whole togetherness. If you guys didn't get a chance, those of you that were not at Summit, to check out the live stream, I would highly encourage you to. I know that they usually have those keynote speakers, those videos that you can get. Please watch them. They were both really funny. Really, both the gentleman and the woman, I can't think of their names right now, probably because of exhaustion, but they were, both of the things that they shared with us, like, it was different ideas, but like, it was awesome. And I feel like, although the guy that does research on happiness was a little dry, what he had to say was really, just really cool. And he talked about us shining bright together. So I wanted to talk about that. So I'm down for doing things together. I feel like for a really long time we did so much stuff separate. So I think I can speak for myself when I say that my best years in Beachbody, be it how I felt, how I was doing as a challenger, and how I was doing as a coach, were when we were doing stuff together. So that's definitely something that I truly miss. And while I don't need to have my upline coach, or I don't need for anybody else to be hand holding me and dragging me along so that I'm doing it right, having that camaraderie and knowing that I have that support and hearing it from everybody else, and just knowing that we were all there for one another too, I was my most successful when that happened. So I know that we have tried to like claw our way back to getting into there, but I love the idea of renovating instead. That's all for now. I may have something else.
Well, I agree. And I feel like the reason why a lot of us are here and joined is because of that camaraderie. So when we lost it, it was kind of like, well, what am I still doing here? Type of thing. So I'm really happy to be able to find that all again. And yeah, I know there was a lot of talk about getting back to the basics, which I think is exactly what we need to do. But somebody said something in one of the things, and they're like, you are not basic. So sometimes just the basics isn't all we need to be doing. Not that we need to be reinventing the wheel. There's like a gazillion trainings out there of all different things we can do. But I think one of the other important things is we have to remember not to be dumbing down what we do. I think it was Connie that said, we're always like, oh my God, you could do this job in your pajamas with your kids running around, and you don't even have to sell anything or do any work. You just have to share your story. So when people sign on and they're having to do work and they're having to leave the house to go to a Super Saturday and they can't get it done with their kids climbing on them like I am, then they're like, well, you told me. And then they don't want to do it anymore because it is work. So we can't dumb it down. It is hard. So I think when we talk about it, we have to watch what we're saying, because I think we've all probably said that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's hard, but it's totally worth it. And this is why it's worth it. And start with the why it's worth it, and then end with the how it's hard, because they're going to remember the why it's worth it. Right? It's that psychology when you say the good stuff first and hard stuff last.
Isn't that what she did?
If I can add something to what Dana just said, I had the chance, Colleen and I had the chance to talk to our Uber driver while we were going to the airport. And we were talking about what we do and how, people are getting amazing results and everything. And I told her, like, flat out, you know what? You can get the result, but I told her, this isn't easy. It's worth it, but it's not easy. You have to put in the work. And that is when I took the opportunity to talk about the team effort. the fact that, as how at least I talked about myself, how in the past when I was doing it by myself, I just couldn't do it by myself. But when you tell people that they're going to have a support team, and when they come into your group and they see that everybody is talking and being active and taking care of business, then that's when they, I guess, that's what really convinced them that they can do this. But again, it's like Dana said, being honest with them and telling them, like, don't think that this is going to be like rainbows and butterflies, because it's not going to be like that. It's going to be easy and you're going to hate it, and and then one day it's going to click that this is worth it, and then you're going to love it.
Yeah, the business is like our programs. They're not easy. I did the little bit obsessed today, day one, and I always laugh when she says, nobody ever goes on social media and brags about how easy that workout is. But the hard stuff is the stuff that's worth it. So
yeah, well, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Exactly. Man, this kid's getting heavy. Yeah. So
Dana, I didn't get to see like everything streaming, but Carl said something on opening night, and I want to make sure I caught it right. He said something that we want to make this company like along the lines of the best part-time business ever. Did anybody remember him saying that? And that just like hit me like crazy, because I feel like that it is part-time for me, very part-time for me, and it's, I feel like, not that they're moving necessarily away that it could be a full-time income and you could have massive success, but it got me thinking, like, well, where's he going with that? Like, what is he doing? Is it that, it is a really good gig for a part-time, extra cash, you have a couple hours to spare a week. Like, what else did he, anybody remember him saying anything about that or whatever?
Well, it's funny that you said that, because we picked up on that. I think Trudy and I were talking about that when she drove me to the airport in Kentucky. I got to go to Kentucky. We talked about that. The words part-time were thrown around quite a bit. And I also noticed that when they were introducing coach success stories, there were several where they said mom first, coach second. So I think they're really trying to showcase the fact that, yeah, you can be a 40-hour weeker and this could be your full-time job, because you're someone that's what you thrive on. So even if you were going to quit your day job, you're still going to work this like a full-time job, because that's just what some people want. But I think they were really trying to drive home the fact that we're a lot of mothers, and for the majority of us, either we have another job that this is just, maybe nights and weekends or a little bit of time here and there, or that we are stay-at-home moms who have a hell of a lot to do at home too, and we're only working this job 2 hours a day. But that you can work it, you can be successful, and you can actually make a full-time income with part-time hours. So did anyone else notice that was thrown around quite a bit at Summit?
Yes.
Absolutely. It really did sound like Carl was kind of switching his focus. I can only assume that, people get frustrated and thinking like, oh, I'm not a top coach, I need to quit, But yeah, it was mentioned several times that this is what you can do as a part-time, coach.
Yeah, and Trudy and I had like a long talk about what success means to us and what we're willing to give up to achieve that. And we both were crystal clear in the fact that we are mothers and we are wives, and our family comes first, and that this is something that is part-time, and that our success isn't necessarily wearing one of those gowns and standing on stage, but our success was in the smaller things, and seeing our coaches succeed either financially or emotionally. I told her one of my biggest successes in my opinion, one of my very biggest successes, she's not on the call tonight, but it's Christine DeSimus. And it's seeing the change she's made from when I first met her in the library and was having play dates with her to seeing like what a badass she is now. She kicks ass, she takes names, she's teaching classes, she's ripped, like, and I'll never forget the first time she taught Pio and I stood in her backyard for her class and like I was crying through the workout. Like, so I feel like we all need to figure out what success means to us and what we're willing to give up in order to find that success. And for some of us, success might be standing on stage in one of those gowns, and that's okay. But that's not success for all of us. So I think we need to define what that is and set out how much time we're willing to put towards earning that success and be okay with the fact that if it's 2 hours a day, 1 hour a day, 8 hours a day, whatever we decide that that's what we're willing to give to this business, then we're okay with that. And I think something that we all need to do, myself included, because I don't follow them, is actually have business hours. Turn all notifications for Facebook and that stuff off on our phone unless we are sitting there for 2 hours for our business hours. And I think that that's something that will probably help all of us. And I know that that's like, you have to have business hours. We've known that for how many years? Guess how many times I've actually sat down and done business hours. Like, so I think that's something that we all need to work on also, as well as personal development. That's definitely taken a back burner for me too. I don't know if it's taken a back burner for any of you. So, but that's all the basics, going back to those basics, right, Maureen?
That are not that basic, and neither are we.
So maybe that's something, that's probably a good thing where that this little 6-day coach accountability group comes in. You know, it's 6 days to refigure out, and commit to doing those basics. And we do it for 6 days to form the habits and make the momentum, and then keep doing them. Would you guys be down for something like that, like a little accountability group between coaches?
I almost think we should do that one soon.
Yeah, maybe Wednesday.
Those of us that
Start on Wednesday.
we can, yeah.
We have to come up
This would be
What-
mine.
let's come up with about 6 to 8 activities that we should be doing daily that will push our business forward. We have to just come up with that, and I can make a little thing.
Question, is this gonna be like meetings, like this kind of meetings, or is something that we're gonna be doing throughout the day? I just asked because I go back into work on Thursday, so you know my schedule is pretty
Your
much
activities
from
would be
4 in the
done,
morning till 7, 8 at night.
right? No, your activities would be done during your business hours. So maybe one of the daily activities would be to actually sit down during your business hours.
I'm
I
gonna have
work
to come up
during
with
my
business
business
hours
hours
then?
today.
All right, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, don't worry. It's not gonna, no, because this business you work on your time. So it's not like,
Yeah.
we would do 6 days where you have to get on a Zoom call with us every single day and tell us what you did, Ramses. Right now, what'd you do?
Well, in the morning, I
What?
press snooze for 7 times. Then, you know, I laid on bed for 15 minutes, talking to myself into getting up and pressing play. And then it was too late to press play, so I just got ready and went to work.
So what are you pressing play on tonight?
What
are you pressing play on tonight?
That's gonna be a surprise. No, that's actually gonna be I think it's gonna be UV2 or size, one of the two. Pretty much the only thing that I can do is dancey stuff because I can't do push-ups. I can do anything that I have to use my arm. So
Country heat. Country heat.
dear Lord, no.
Did you hear
Come on, it's fun.
No, you cannot pay me enough to do that.
multiple men that were on the stage for the
Yes.
winner?
I've done size before and I loved it. I thought it was really fun.
They did size. Men did size. I
Yeah,
thought
I did it before, and it was fun. I enjoyed it.
get your size on.
But I think some of maybe some of the activities could even be like doing Insta stories or something like that. Because I know Becky said she had never done an Insta story until this weekend. So.
I don't even know how to set up stuff on Instagram, so I need to go on YouTube and get myself like a crash course on Instagram and what is where, pretty much. Like I have no idea how to use Instagram.
Get yourself a crash course.
Okay.
So
I was waiting for the picture. Was there a picture?
You're up. You. Oh. Ready? Everybody smile. Wait. Oh, where is he going?
But I really had I'm a structure girl, and I need structure. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Like I know I'm a good time, but I also need structure.
Okay.
So when we're talking about all these things, these are great things. Love it all. I too feel overwhelmed by trying to run all my team calls, trying to do Snoop groups, trying to do the events, trying to host a Snoop group. Snoop group is what I call it when a new program launches.
Oh.
I do a Snoop group. Like, I think that those are great things for us to do as a team. Like, Live 4, I have a Snoop group that's out for that.
Okay.
So those things overwhelm me. Doing sneak peeks into coaching, and those are the first things that fall off. But I always feel like I need to have something for my team to be able to invite to. So I have a monthly challenge group going on, and then I'll have a Live 4 going on, and then I'll have a Snoop group into whatever going on. And I just, feel overwhelmed with that. So are we going to have like I know, and I can make it. I don't mind making it, but like a monthly calendar, like at the last week of every month, we're going to run a sneak peek of some sort, a coaching opportunity call. We'll have something somewhere to invite people to. And when a new program launches, we'll be doing a, whatever you want to call it, sneak peek, Snoop group, whatever for that new program, so that we can all post information in there. Is that what we're talking about, or am I off?
No, that's what I want. And I love that you're saying that you were the structure girl and that you would make a calendar, because I am the not structured girl and I need help making calendars.
Well, I'm all over the place everywhere else, but I need to know like in advance, like what am I talking about on social media? So
okay, well then let's work together and we'll make calendars so this way every month, for the most part, it's the same.
Yeah, I agree with her. I was actually just thinking about that earlier today, because I was like, okay, I have so many things to do, and I have, like not business, but just like in general, so many things to do. And I'm like, okay, where do I even start?
Right.
And then I was like, okay, then I remember what, somebody talked about over there. And I was like, I need to start by making a list of everything that I need to do so that I know exactly what I need to hit. Because I'm a triangle and I try to do everything at once and I never finish a single one of them. So having a little bit of structure would benefit me in like a huge way.
Yeah. Well, I actually wrote down right here, calendar of groups to run as a team. But I am always the first person to not make the calendar. So I would love help making a team calendar. I will work with you to do that together. And that is something that we should have ongoing every single month. And obviously Snoop groups might change a little bit from time to time, but yes, I would love, that would be my goal, but I'm the worst at making them. So yes, please, Alicia.
But we all have our little strengths, so I can make a calendar and someone else can make a graphic.
I think you have to be like this to make a calendar.
Yeah, and you're like this.
Yeah. We all questioned her at Summit, yet here we are still talking about the freaking shapes.
A squiggle.
Anyone that wasn't at Summit is like, what the hell are they talking about?
It's funny? When she said, and triangles right now are thinking, no, she's wrong because I have a little bit of this trait and this trait. That's exactly what I was thinking at that exact moment.
Well, she is a comedian / therapist, so she knows what we're all thinking.
can read
So
minds.
anyway, you need to watch Connie Pavardi, and you'll know what we're talking about with the
Podesta.
Podesta. Did anyone hear Jeff Hill on the wake up call? He again talked about like the audience being on stage.
Who was freaking mortified?
Oh, I have it on video. I have the whole
Hysterical.
video if you guys want to watch it. How she chased him off the stage.
That was awkward.
It was.
AF, Dana.
Awkward AF.
You
Legitimately
did that?
awkward AF.
You did that?
I told you I didn't
Yeah.
realize I sat down right behind him in the leadership talk, and she pulls some other guy in the audience, and he's like laughing, and he's like, "That's to me." So yeah, he again brought it up today on the National Wake Up Call, which I thought. So, anyone else have anything to say? Anything to add? Anything they want to critique?
I need to know when next week's call is going to be and what the topic is.
Okay. Are we okay with Monday night?
Sorry.
Are Monday nights at 9:00 okay?
Yes.
Okay. What do we? Gosh, what do we want our topic to be? Does anyone have something that they want to talk about?
What if we just share? Can we just share like what we do in our own little like challenge groups or onboarding new coaches? I don't know. I just feel like sometimes I feel like I'm the worst leader ever.
Join the club, my friend. Join the
Well,
club.
you and I are very similar as far as like not like disorganized chaos. That's me. Did Trisha talk to you guys about the thing that we went to with Kim Carver and Jeff Hill in the city? That
No.
there's going to be a new platform coming up for new coaches.
Just they're not allowed to say anything, I think.
We're not allowed to like yeah, it's so secret. Meanwhile, like we're taking pictures of everything.
So how about,
But
how does this feel? Like, okay, so I'm gonna get something together. We're gonna start this coach accountability group on Wednesday. So this way we're all pushing. How about on Monday we sit down with the calendar that Alicia's going to be making for us, and we figure out what's important on those groups. Why don't we figure out those groups and highlight the things, talk about the things that we need to highlight? Do we want to break down those groups and talk about them? I don't know.
Why don't we like take this week right now to like, start this remodeling, okay?
Renovating.
And what?
Renovating.
Excuse me, renovating. Not rebuilding, whatever it is called. You know what I mean. Listen to what I mean, not to what I say. Okay? So we take this week, and the following meeting, we can share, okay, I think this is what went well, and this is what I need help with right now. Does anybody have a suggestion for me to be able to work on this or that? And I think we should probably, the one, like me, I'm going to try to go and, start keeping track of my activities and what is it, so that I can kind of figure out where is it that I'm failing.
Okay. Why don't we take the next few days and almost do it like what Ramsey said and figure out really the next topic that needs to be discussed. And we'll have something set in stone by Thursday, Alicia. Would that be okay for you for a Monday call? Maybe we could discuss it a little bit in our team page, and we can figure out a topic or 2 or 3 topics that we feel we need to touch upon and help each other with.
I have a great idea. Maybe
Okay.
that, but I was like squirreling off. But why don't we maybe a poll? Maybe we could do a poll. The thing that we would say we struggle with the most, and then whatever, like out of that poll, like whatever wins, that's what we do for that first one. because I feel like those are the things that we should try to focus on too. Like whatever, like we're each struggling with,
Right.
then everybody, not just leaders, because we're all in this together, says, oh, well, for inviting, these are the things that I have found that have worked for me. So if you're struggling with inviting, Lana, this has worked for me. Like that will be like our, so like the people that feel like they do really well with like inviting will be like adding to the call, and then maybe making your posts more relevant. Maybe Dana, you're a rock star at that, but maybe Michelle is having a hard time. So what do you
like that. Maybe.
I love it a lot because, I feel like we all have great rapport. Like we can just chit chat back and forth and stuff. But our goal is to bring new people in. So those new people that don't feel like they can speak up and I don't know what the frig you're talking about, new coaches are going to feel left out. So we need to like, what are you up to? You have that look in your face, Maureen. No, Maureen.
Because Michelle's husband is posting my jobs.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
But no, I like that. Put a poll out there, see what people are struggling with, see who's successful at it. Those 3 people share their best practices on that topic.
And then we don't have to have super long.
That was good. See what brainstorming does?
Well, if we're talking about going back to the basics, why don't we legit go back to the basics? Like we talk about the vital behaviors. We talk about, my girl Nikki here, she has no idea what she's talking about. Welcome, Nikki, to the call. But, let's go back to the basics. This team culture is amazing, okay? The reason we're still here is because of the people who are here. So let's just go back. Let's just start from, okay, so onboard or inviting. How do you invite? What does, your power hour look like? That kind of stuff.
I missed you, Trudy. I'm so happy to see you on this call.
But yeah, let's just do the things, the things. What's
4 vitals. We'll start with the 4 vitals.
There we go. There's a month.
That's your month. Boom.
Look at Alicia. Drop the mic. Drop the mic.
Yeah. What she said.
I love it, Michelle.
So I guess next Monday is being a product of the product or inviting.
Oh my God, we just keep getting more confused, don't we?
The triangle wants to know.
Are you sure you're a squiggle, Alicia?
Is there a squirrel shape?
What are we talking about?
Have to de-squirrelify. Yeah.
What's the first vital?
Being a product of the product.
So then we would be talking about successful posts, how to post about being a product of the product without being a salesperson.
Okay.
And also, I know there's some catchy phrase, but like not always saying the program, or like not always saying Shakeology, like not always saying to be mindset. Or
FOMO.
Well, remember Shalene's
recreating FOMO.
last year, don't tell me you're about to sell me.
Yes.
That was epic last year.
Also, here's a great line.
Called intrigue.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, now as far as doing a platform, so we have a topic and we want it. Oh, you want this?
Hold on, let me share this line. This is really great. It goes along with literally what was just said, I swear.
What?
I have a really great line from one of the trainings, and it really does.
Okay.
Legitimately.
Like for reals, yo. For reals.
Everything that was just said about being a product of the product.
It's legitimate.
It's legitimately. It is not my job to make everyone use and love Beachbody. It is my job to share about it.
Boom. Another mic drop. All right, so now my next question is, I love the idea of a brainstorming session. but I also see where Alicia says people that are newer won't be as, won't necessarily just start chatting it up. But I feel like we get a lot out of these brainstorming sessions. Like I feel, not only do I feel like we get our team culture and our team building, but I feel like when we're bouncing ideas off of each other, new things that we didn't even think about come out. So I don't want it to be like a sit down and everyone has to stare at a PowerPoint. I don't want to tell people what to do. I want to talk about what we're going to do. Does that make sense? So how do we do this platform? Do we have, and I also don't want to be the only one talking because I kind of feel like I know shit right now. Ooh, this is a recording. I know, and there's kids. I know.
You're holding one. Your favorite.
My favorite. Well, she's only my favorite right now because she's the only one here.
Lies.
Right.
Yeah, with your lies.
Because you were paying attention, right?
So how would we like to do a platform with this? Do we want to have
A mastermind call?
and yeah, well, explaining, yeah, she's good. Explain to me how that would go, Alicia, if you don't mind.
Well, like how often do you want to do them? Like, just invite those that want to brainstorm on such and such calls.
Okay.
Or you can do one a different day. Or do you want them to be team call time?
Yeah, like a consistent 9 o'clock team call. Do we have a topic and then say 4 people step up to be the ones to do the majority of the talking, but not all of the talking? And because like I said, I don't want it to be like where we're sitting here as the leaders telling people what to do. I love the idea of the back and forth.
But I know as a new coach, I know it's hard to believe now, but I wouldn't even show my face for like ever.
Right.
Let alone speak.
Right. I get that. I do. But I feel like, obviously the more they come on, the more comfortable they'll get and they'll start talking. But I feel like if we're always just, instead of staring at each other's pretty faces and being together talking, then we're just staring at a PowerPoint and then it gets just as cold again.
So can I jump in as a new coach
Yeah.
that often just comes and puts myself on mute and stares? I have, even before this call started, and looking, I was not at Summit. I was at Sigma Kappa convention last weekend, and so I was watching some stuff online, and I had already said to myself, even though I'm approaching 1 year as a coach, I started for the discount, and whenever I sort of decided to actually do it more as a business, I've come to find that I've been trying to reinvent the wheel. I haven't really utilized a lot of existing resources, and so for me, like going through the 4 vital behaviors would be helpful, because even though like on a calendar I've been doing it for a year, I haven't actually been doing it, quote unquote, until now. But an example with like being a product of the product in particular is I feel like I have a decent handle on like breadcrumbing posts. I feel like I have a problem with when someone messages me or sort of starts to engage me in conversation that I like get so excited and word vomit everything out to them and like overwhelm them with way more information than what they've asked about. So an example for me from a new coach of what I know I need help with is less the initial post and more like what the follow-up conversation looks like.
Ooh, and Michelle is bobbing her head too. Yeah, I like it.
Right. Yeah, I like that. But and then see, this is where it comes in, Alicia, where I love the open floor plan, because we wouldn't have known that from a new coach if she had not, just told us now. So I feel like if it's more like a mastermind group and we're brainstorming, then someone can ask those type of questions and we can kind of answer them on the spot. instead of assuming we know what they're going to ask and creating a PowerPoint presentation based on what we think they need to know. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? Okay. All right. So our topic for next Monday's call will be the first of the 4 vital behaviors, product of the product, and how to follow up on questions about your product of the product posts.
We could do like sharing your journey, you know, because if you're being product of the product, how do you share that?
Okay. So it could be like sharing your journey and how to follow up with questions. Or yes, Michelle. No one has to raise their hand.
Well, I don't want to interrupt. I was just going to say, how about something to do with the Shakeology in general? Because I'm having a really hard time getting people to stay buying it. Like they'll be like, oh, I'll try it for a month, and then they don't want it after. And I don't want to be salesy, but it's like, how do you use that, so that they're continuing to be on the HD, I guess it is.
Okay. All right. So that's good. So then that really
be a product.
That really talks about, though, like how Kristen said, it's like, so we'll talk about sharing the product, but also how to continue the conversation.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. And I know there's lots of coaches on here that can talk about that and how they do it very well.
So the teacher in me is thinking, if we have these topics in advance and our coaches know the topics, we need to maybe ask them to come with questions or concerns that they have regarding the topic.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Because then not talking at them, like you said, Dana, we're not talking at them. It's more interactive.
Like a panel, like you have your panel and then you can ask that panel questions.
Like what I wish I would have known when I was a new coach.
Right.
Boom.
Man, Alicia, have you picked the mic up yet? Because you just keep dropping them, or they're just like a few walls.
She's just smashing it everywhere.
I have a lot of mics. A lot.
All right. Okay. Well, then that's what we're gonna do. So Wednesday, we will start this group. I'll get some kind of little doc together and get a post out tomorrow for the 6-day coach accountability group, and hopefully it'll be something fun and that helps us push our business, gives a little momentum, push in the right direction. And Alicia's going to work on a calendar, and I'll help you. We can all work together on that. I don't want you feeling like you have to do everything on that, but
I also don't want you to feel like you have to do everything for the group.
But if you, I really just need somebody to put the things in the squares.
You got it. You just tell me what you want in the squares, and I'll put them in there.
Well, let's all figure that out. We'll talk about that. But yeah, we'll figure out what groups we want, and you'll work on the calendar, and then we'll post right away about Monday's call with the topics, and tell people to have their questions ready to roll, and we'll keep moving together as a team. Maureen, you're on mute. I wish I could hear you yelling.
I'm not yelling. I don't do
Will
that.
you look at us?
Look at how many people are on here. I know it's 16, but that's
That's a lot of
more than I've seen in a while on a call.
Yeah.
So, all right, it's after 10, so go to bed.
All right.
All right, and share it.
All right, I'm going to stop
Good night,
recording.
everybody.